Um, I apologize. We had some technical issues here, and it took me a moment to sort out exactly what was wrong. But after doing a little bit of sorting out my issues, I was able to figure it out. So sometimes that's just part of the deal, and we're not going to let it bother us or affect us. We're just going to get right back to what we were doing. Zen Haiku, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, my friend. Let me turn that Twitch alerts all the way to the forefront so it doesn't get blocked by the title at all. I'm going to be turning that up right now, all the way to the front, so that when people follow, their image is not blocked at all. Anywho, let's go back, boys. We had a little bit of an issue. You know what? It looked like Jibbatong took that game. I don't know if anybody can specify. Hi. Actually, let me make sure Stream Live is on real quick. We're gonna just go ahead and recover from what just happened. The game actually is already back, so we need to get back into the lobby here and run and get back into the game because it already has launched. You guys, anyway, I was casting, I was involved in the casting, but if I remember correctly, if my memory serves me correct, what happened was Jibbatong actually was able to win that game. He was the first one up to the castle age and really was able to do the damage. It looked like they did finish that game. We did miss the last part of that game, unfortunately, but again, I do believe that the series would now be 1-1 if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to update the score accordingly, and let's just pretend I know what I'm talking about and that I'm correct, and we won't discuss it anymore. So this would be a tiebreaker now between these two players, and so far excellent games from both of these players, and without skipping a beat, we're going to get right back into the action, no problem. We're not going to let some minor technical difficulties get us down. It's not a big deal. What had happened was I got my blue snowball here, the back cord actually disconnected from the mic. I was able to plug it back in right away, but the program that picks up the mic needs to be shut down completely, and then the program needs to be reopened for it to recognize the mic again, and that's why I was having trouble sorting it out right away. I do appreciate Juno's Human for letting me know in the chat that the mic was down, but again, we were able to solve that problem very quickly, and you know, one of the things that I'm learning in life now, I'm 28 years old, sometimes when things become difficult, I get kind of frustrated and I'm like, well, I need to make things easy so that if that problem comes up again, it won't be hard for me to solve it. You know what I'm starting to think, though? I'm starting to think, you know what, I don't care if the problem's hard or not, I'm going to be able to solve it. And that's the attitude that I'm starting to have, and I think that's the attitude we need to have, that we're not going to let little minor hiccups, and we believe in ourselves so much that we know that we'll be able to fix any of the problems that come our way. Second board coming in now for ACCM, and the problem for him tonight is, can he go ahead and take this series and make it 2-1, as he had such a strong first game for ACCM. Extremely powerful, extremely strong for him. Second game, though, it looked like, if I remember correctly, Jibtong comes back, was able to win the Vikings War. Looks like it's going to be a Chinese war, though, this time, and maybe that will favor S.Y. Jibbatong. He is from China. Maybe he knows the Chinese civ a little bit better than ACCM. We'll have to wait and see. As I say that, Jibtong, the blue player, with a 1 villager advantage, 20-19 now for blue with the 1 villager lead. Second board, as I said, came in here for the purple player, and blue over here in the south of the map, he has already taken his second board, not wasting any meat on any of the animals here underneath his town center, and making sure that villagers are gathering from all of those dead animals. Remember, animals rot as they sit underneath the town center. They lose about 1 food or so a second. So the more animals that you have dead underneath your town center, the more food you're wasting. Again, also, if you don't have any villagers taking food from that animal, then the food is just wasting away there by itself. So it's very, very important that if there's a dead animal underneath your town center, you're using your villagers to take it and not waste it, because the food will rot away if it's just left there. If you kill a boar and walk away, after some time, all the meat will disappear. And so these players are very, very aware of game knowledge, and they know that every single resource counts, even one food. Yes, it doesn't make a huge difference, but all the little tiny differences add up, and they make a difference in the game over the long haul. And so it's all about really that efficiency and making smart decisions. Here we can see that the blue player is killing his sheep directly underneath the town center. This is what you want to do. And the reason why we see that is so that he can drop off those resources right to the town center as soon as he as soon as each villager has collected enough of that resource. I believe at this time it would be 10 food, and then they'll just jump up and hand that food off to that town center. Now if the sheep was here, let's say, or by this tree, let's say, then every 10 food the villager would have to run back to the town center, then run back to the sheep. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but that little bit of walking for all of those villagers would be a tremendous amount of time lost in such a pro level game, in such a high level game. So that's why it's really important to make all the different save as much time and save as much resources and be as efficient and effective as possible to really try to increase your odds of winning. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be quiet. I hope I'm not being too loud. I do have neighbors. I've been thinking about putting something up on the wall here to maybe deflect some of my voice a little bit, and indeed I am getting excited as well, because tonight we have been seeing some really, really good games between these 2K players, ACCM from Vietnam, SY Jibetong from China. Again, I've told you already that SY is one of the bigger and better clans in the AOC community. Last year or the year before, they did play in China versus Tyrant. There was a $20,000 prize pool for that game. So again, that was a very exciting game or set of games. And this player Jibetong coming out of that clan, meaning that he's probably on a pretty decent level here to be fighting in a 2K match versus ACCM, a known veteran in the Vietnamese Age of Empires community with tons, and when I say tons, I mean thousands of games under his belt for the purple player ACCM. For now, both players not really being too aggressive, mostly just playing a little bit defensively. As I say that, blue finally moving out now with 4 scouts, one of them low HP, but no big deal. He is going to be moving across the map, and let's see what he can kind of see so far. Nothing really on the right side, so it looks like he is trying to get some scouting information here as he moves around through this black dark circle, and so he can kind of see a little bit more about his opponent's map, what his opponent's doing, where his resources are, where his military buildings are, what kind of units he's building, and maybe if he's lucky he can snipe a few villagers. And that's usually the goal of these early rush attacks, is to try to disrupt the economy of your opponent, try to cause their villagers to stop working, or to maybe even kill the villagers if you can. That's kind of difficult here in the feudal age. It's these units don't have that very strong attack yet, only 5 attack, but as we get later and later in the game, the units again kind of increase in their attack and their strength, and that's how we kind of have this kind of crescendo that builds throughout the Age of Empires game, as these players are progressing through the ages and progressing in ever increasing technology and strength and things like that. So yes, so anyway, tower coming up now for the blue player. He is going to be putting it a little bit further in the back. Usually players will typically put their towers out forward facing their opponent, but that's not that big of a deal. This still is going to be a very nice tower, and one that's going to defend his gold very well. Now the reason that blue is putting up this tower is his gold is kind of far away from his town center. If his gold is attacked, he'll have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and villagers are going to just die out here on the open undefended. That's why indeed he's going to be building this tower to defend his gold and protect it. Now, one of the strategies in Age of Empires is to get your opponents off of as many resources as possible. So for example, if blue would have never built a tower here, if purple would have built a tower here and maybe pressured it with some archers and some spears and things like that, that would be one resource that blue would lose, and he would no longer have access to, which would also mean that he would no longer be able to produce units that cost gold and things like that. So these things have chain reactions and cause a lot of problems. Anyway, what we saw here though is that the purple player was hungry for blood. He came in here, he was targeting these resources. Again, it's really important to try to take control of these resources, but because Jibbatong was playing smart, he played thinking ahead, he played defensively, and he put this tower out here on the front. It's going to protect this this gold, and for the time being, Jibbatong is going to be safe at home, despite this menacing army that the purple player has. Despite this menacing army here, lots of archers here for ACCM. Couple spears out here on the front for ACCM as well. They look to be mostly just on scouting duty. I'm not quite sure. The blue player, though, trying to get in and do the damage and see if he can do a repeat of what happened last time. Castle Age coming in for him again. And remember, last time he was faster to the Castle Age, and that's what made the difference. He does have a 3 villager advantage as the blue player, 38 to 35. Blue putting the pressure on right now on this wall, trying to keep these villagers away from the wall, and so far being somewhat successful. These villagers are still trying to get in and put as much HP on these houses as they can to try to stop blue from getting in. Purple going to be coming in from behind looking for a fight. Blue going to be privy to it. Purple's going to lose 1 unit, maybe 2. And now blue losing a scout, losing a skirm, losing another scout, losing another scout, losing another scout. And blue gonna lose so much in that fight right there. Gonna try to take down as many archers as he can, but he really doesn't have the numbers, and those scouts are gonna, or those skirms are gonna drop like flies. Poor blue with a huge military and a really pressuring aggression from the blue player, but a nice play, really good troop placement by purple coming around the back. Blue responding well, noticing that the aggression came here from purple, but didn't quite retreat in time and didn't really take the most favorable fight, so he's going to lose his entire army. 0 military for the blue player, 14 military now for purple, as purple has these spears again that I told you were on scouting duty. He's going to be out there on the front, but for now he's going to have a large number of archers coming out, and blue going to be going chain barding armor. I guess we're going to expect to see some knights from him, which is not typically the meta for Chinese, at least not that I know of. I know they do not get Paladin, and Paladin are extremely important units, and that's not a unit that we're going to be seeing here tonight, as China only gets Cavalier, which makes them a little bit less viable of going for Paladin, or for Knights, I should say. Now, when you have this mirrored matchup, you still can see different units, so it's still totally acceptable for these players to choose to go with the Knights. Now, again, China does have Bloodlines, which means that they get 20 plus HP. It does look like the blue player already has that. Purple is just getting Bloodlines now, which means he's going to be trying to add that plus 20 HP to his units as well. But Castle Age almost here now for the purple player, and looks like a siege workshop on the front, and also a monastery. This game is starting to heat up. Blue is looking to get aggressive, and his first loss must have just been a fluke, because now blue is bringing the pain, and he's going to be trying to put the pressure on. He's got a siege workshop on the front. He's got a mangonel coming out. He's got a lot of knights here on the front, and he's going to be doing the damage to this barracks right now. Purple looking for the crossbowman upgrade, coming in about 4 seconds. Lots of camels coming out now for the purple player as well. He's going to be trying to take a favorable fight versus these knights. Mangonel shots coming in. Looks like he might have sniped a villager with that mangonel, and that barracks is almost down. Purple trying to repair, really scared of this damage, and he should be. Lots of knights here, and blue is going to sneak into the economy of purple. Purple knows that it's coming. Purple gonna go for the snipe of the mangonel. The mangonel is really the damage doer here. The mangonel can take down units from afar with only a couple shots. He can really take down buildings really well, but most importantly, he's a huge threat to all these archers, and that's one of the reasons why purple decided to run past those knights and take down that mangonel, because he knew that mangonel was going to be quite threatening. Jibitong will be making another mangonel shortly, but he is a little bit low on gold here with only 155. Now clicking it now, but he needs to be careful of his gold because he needs to continue to find the right units to counter against this. He cannot fall behind in military production. He cannot make any slip-ups here because right now purple has lots of military right now, and that is going to be very threatening for the blue player as he only has 12 military, 27 military for the purple player. Blue looking for some conversions, but wow, the pressure from the purple player is very, very real, keeping so many archers alive from the feudal age into the castle age, and that may be the difference here. Can he do the damage now and really put a stop to the blue player here early in the castle age, or will the blue player be able to mount up enough defense here to hold off purple long enough and get a push going? I'm not quite sure, but these are a large number of crossbowmen. He could take a shot against the mangonel right now. Big shot attack ground, gonna miss, and then purple going to kill that mangonel, but blue getting two really good shots on those crossbowmen before those mangonels died, and that was a very favorable fight for the blue player. He actually ought to run back these knights at this point. I feel like he's taking too many losses, too many camels here. Remember, camels are going to counter those cavalry units, and that's why we see the blue player running back now, because he knows that this is not a favorable fight for him versus these camels. He should start switching into camels himself. I'm not sure if we're going to see that from Jimitong, but if he wants to be successful in this particular matchup, I do believe camels are the way to go. We do see camels coming out now, and now it's just a matter of can blue outmass his opponent. 20 villager advantage now for the blue player. It looks like 63 to 45, and the blue player Jibitong, the Chinese player from the SY clan, showing his prowess here, not giving up after a first round loss, coming back for a second round victory, and now it looks like he's really pushing the pressure here in the third matchup. Another mangonel gonna shoot down those crossbowmen. Beautiful play here by the blue player. Purple coming in with some monks, looking for some conversions. He's gonna find one or two, and still a lot of camels here for the purple player. Blue not really having the numbers of camels, only fighting with a bunch of knights, and that's not gonna be a very favorable trade as it comes to gold and resources. Still, purple doesn't feel like he has the numbers, and maybe he doesn't. He is gonna run back here into his own economy and under the protective fire of this town center, so purple's going to be fine with running back for now and just trying to mass up a few more units. Again, a huge advantage on villagers for the blue player, 71 to 48, and Jibitong, the Chinese SY player, playing extremely well here as he keeps the pressure up on this front. Lots of camels now from him. One of his mangonels unfortunately going to get caught out here. It's going to go down completely for free, and that was he should have been a little bit more mindful of his gather points here. We can see his gather point is set way over here. Had he set his gather point inside his siege workshop or further back here, he might not have lost that mangonel, but because of him setting his mangonel out here, he lost it. Purple gonna take advantage of this opportunity now to get this siege workshop down, and in some people's minds that might not be a big deal, but in my mind it is an important deal. He's losing map control. This siege workshop was threatening. It was making mangonels and getting a lot of damage and a lot of damage done. I don't know if you guys refreshed. I'm sure you guys, whoever's still here, has probably already refreshed. So anyway, we're not going to worry about that. I forgot to write that in the chat. Anywho, so refresh if you've been still waiting for 20 minutes. Lots of camos though here by the blue player. He's finally starting to mass up a lot of them. 21 military now for the blue player. Couple monks out here on the front. He's taking a lot of gold as the blue player. He's really got the economy going, and doesn't look like much can stop him here as he's pushing forward. He's gonna purple's gonna try to take down this monastery, and he's going to try to snipe out some of these monks, but blue, with a large number of military here, looks like he's going to be taking a favorable fight. Purple, realizing he's not getting the best of that fight, going to be forced to retreat. Purple going to be looking for some conversions with these monks as blue and purple kind of run run backwards towards purple's base. Blue probably not going to push in here too much, I can't expect. Maybe going to snipe down 1 or 2 villagers, looks like, here for the blue player. Really, really nice play by him. He is going to go ahead and target this gold mine, and purple, not knowing what to do, really kind of frantically scattering about and not really quite knowing what's going on. Interesting play here by the blue player. Blue just kind of causing chaos and confusion here in the ranks of his enemies. Now with the castle in the front, and this is extremely strong. Jibatong now with some amazing aggression. This castle is super strong. It's going to cause a big hole blocking off of area from the arrow fire from this castle. And so if this castle goes up, it's not going to be game over, but it is going to be extremely threatening and extremely annoying for the purple player. 95 villagers, 67 villagers. So blue with 94 villagers, almost a 30 villager advantage here for the blue player. And to be quite frank, lots of times players don't typically come back from that big of a deficit. Purple finally realizing that he is in trouble and he's not going to be able to make this game back, calling the GG, making the game 2-1 for Jibatong, the Chinese player. ACCM going to give up another game and give the advantage here to Jibatong. Great game so far, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Hidden Gems Gamer, aka Gems for short, and we are streaming some AOC. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be game number 4 between ACCM, Vietnamese player here, a veteran of the game. If we look at his profile, the man has over almost 4,000 games. 4,000 games. That is a ton of games. Absolutely ridiculous amount of games there for the purple player ACCM. Anyway, Juno is Human has now hit me up with the follow. Thank you so much, Juno's Human, for the follow. I appreciate it. Again, we are now going to be bringing in game number 4 for these players, and it's been non-stop action. It's been non-stop excitement. We're getting a really nice treat this evening. It's some 2K players where you don't get to see that every night, or some nights you only get a couple, some nights you can get more, but tonight we've got a really good matchup between some really close players, and because of that we're able to provide some exciting games. So yes, let's continue to just stay tuned in and check out what's going to happen between these two players here as I switch the scenes and the game kind of gets settled into place here. It looks like Mayan War, and Maya, one of my favorite civilizations in the game. I love the Mayans. They start out with an extra villager. That means they're going to research loom first. That's going to be the first technology that they research, because they're already going to start out housed if they build a villager, or they start out housed, I should say. But loom is going to give them that extra HP right away, and they're going to be able to take their boars pretty safely. They do have an eagle warrior. Eagle warriors are very strong units, extremely strong. But yes, the Maya, they have eagle warriors, and they also have plumed archers. So the Maya are an extremely strong civilization. They have some really great economic bonuses as well that makes them extremely viable civilizations to play with. They're definitely definitely one of the more sought after civilizations in Age of Empires 2. The Conquerors is the Maya, and again, one of my favorite, if not my favorite civilization, is the Maya. We're going to go ahead and turn the chat off, simply because we don't want to have any spoilers or interruptions or spammy chat, and we don't really want to have to deal with that, and so we'll just go ahead and remove the chat from the room. If you're feeling like chatting in the Twitch channel, feel free to, and if you're fine with just hanging out and just watching, that's okay as well. if you're going to take off, or at the end of the stream, you don't need to do it now, but I do encourage you to hit that follow button, as it helps support me and helps grow my channel. I'm committed to growing a channel here, and so yeah, every follow does help, so don't think of it as something small. It is important, and it does help me grow. So your support in that sense is very appreciated. First board coming in now for ACCM, and he's going to be bringing that in nice and safe and sound. He is going to wait just a moment before he kills that boar, and he's actually going to kind of do a little bit of sneaky move here. He's going to continue to try to finish that sheep as much as he can, and then he's going to re-aggro that boar. Really high level rated plays here. This boar is actually kind of glitched out almost, but what that was allowed him to do was to finish that sheep completely before he started taking that boar. Extremely high level play. Like, it seems so minute and it seems so small, but indeed it truly is a high level play. He waited till the last possible second to kill that boar so he could save as much food from rotting as possible, so he could decrease the amount of food that was rotting and decrease the amount of animals that were decaying and dead. Very good play by ACCM, and he's showing that he's a veteran of the game, and he's showing his game knowledge by doing something like that. A second boar coming in, he's actually using his Eagle Warrior to bring it in. Now, I don't know how to do this very well. I'm still learning, but I heard that taking your boar with the Eagle Warrior is much easier or much better than taking it with a regular scout, although both units are able to bring in a boar just like you just saw here from ACCM. But now it looks like the purple player is going to be going out and trying to get some scouting information in. He's curious about what his opponent is doing, and that is a wise play. It's very important to be getting as much information as possible from your opponents, and you do that by scouting. And that's what we see this player doing. I'm going to turn up the game sound a little bit. I'm not sure if it's too quiet. If there's anything about the stream that needs to change as far as the game sound or my voice being too loud or too quiet, please let me know. Otherwise, it's totally fine if you're just enjoying it. It looks like purple actually stole one of blue's boars. And we call that, in the AOC community, we call that laming. So that means purple, took one of his Eagle Warriors. He ran it all the way across the map. He attacked one of the boars of blue, and he brought it all the way back to his base. That's 350 extra food that purple was going to get for free that he would not have gotten if he wasn't able to lame that boar. So really good play by ACCM. He's trying to take every advantage as he can here in this fourth game, as he's already down 2-1 right now, so with a down by one game now to tie it up. So ACCM knows that he wants to tie this game up, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get that done. Jibatong, though, proving that he is a threatening player and he is no one to mess with. He is going to be choosing to wall up his base. Chinese players are known for their really large walls, and we see those walls here now by him. And you know what? I have nothing against it. I'm actually a big fan of walls. I love them, and I like when players play behind them. I think it makes the game more exciting to me, actually. Especially when you got to see, like, can the other player get in? What is he going to do to get through? Look at this. This drush has really become ineffective. The biggest counter to a drush is walls. And now this drush has really been countered by the blue player just because he made these walls. Now, these walls are far away from blue's base, so he's going to have to send a villager really far away to repair it. But he will have it repaired in time, and purple will not be able to get in here in time with this drush. So unfortunately, these are 3 wasted units that purple has made that are not doing him any benefit or any good at all. 26 villagers for both players on their way to the feudal age. blue player going to be 30 seconds faster to the feudal age than purple, and that's probably because of those extra waste resources that he had on the militia. But 30 seconds is not bad at all for making a drush, and he can still continue to harass with this drush, so it's not the end of the world. He's causing one villager to be idle, and he's causing one villager not to work. He's also making him waste wood here as well to build this stuff all around. So we'll have to wait and see what the purple player decides to do. I'd actually like to see him go forward with an archery range and see him make some archers, and then that would help stop blue from being able to wall up behind, because he'd be able to shoot the villagers that are trying to make a wall. So I would really like to see purple come forward with an archery range and be a little bit aggressive, but for now it looks like both players are going to be going for a fast castle strategy, not really making any military here in the feudal age, but instead going to be trying to get to the castle age as fast as possible. And I'm assuming that we'll see a boom from there, and then maybe into into castles, and then into plumed archers. Slight pause here as we wait for these two players to get back into the action. We're not sure if there was a drop or if one of these players has just paused. It looks like it was just a pause, as the game now is back in action. The blue player here making a nice little market. That's going to cause the purple player to not be able to get in as easily with this market and now a house. But purple is still going to be harassing blue, going to choose to make stone walls now behind this. He says, you know what, I'm sick of having to re-wall. I'm going to make stone walls now, so you definitely can't get into my base. And that's a really good play here by blue, and it's a great play to really kind of neutralize this threat here of these three militia that ACCM has made. Castle Age now coming in for the blue player, and I assume that purple ACCM will be on the way to Castle Age here not too long as well. But he does seem to be a bit behind. He's still missing 155 food, and that's a bit surprising. He has chose to sell a little bit of stone here, and then he's going to buy himself some food and get his way up to the Castle Age pronto. He is on stone super early right now, but so is Jibatong, and both of these players are playing for a castle. They're both trying to get plumed archers out on the field, and plumed archers are one of the stronger units for the Mayan, and that's why they're both going for those castles and going for the stone here early, so that they can get those castles up as fast as possible, and they can get those plumed archers production out as fast as possible, so that they can really produce a large army as quick and as fast as they can, and hopefully build one quicker and faster than their opponent. And that's what we see here. Castle Age almost coming in now here for the blue player, and also again in just about a minute now for the purple player. So we'll have to wait and see what blue decides to do, if he decides to put a castle here in a defensive posture, or if he decides to go a little bit more aggressive with his castle. I'm not quite sure how he's going to play it, but for now he's satisfied with his 691 stone in the bank and quite a few villagers here on the stone. It looks like he is going to be going with a defensive castle. This castle is going to defend both this gold and stone, and it's going to be a very good building here for that. Second building coming up here in the back of Blue's base is going to be another town center here, and that's just so he can produce more villagers, and it's also going to provide protection for those villagers as well. So great play here by Blue. He's showing us his strategy. It looks like it's going to be a hybrid strategy, part boom, part plumed archer production, and we'll have to wait and see if the purple player chooses to do a similar strategy, or if he chooses to do something quite different. Looks like he's going into a very similar strategy, with a castle out on the front of his base in a defensive posture as well, looking to secure these gold mines here, and so that he doesn't lose those here in this mid game or later in the late game. But purple content to just throw up that one castle for right now, and it looks like we are going to see a town center from him in the back, and that's going to be for some more some more villager production for him. These militia still just happy to chuck away at this house here, eventually going to put it down, but it's still going to be quite a while before that happens. Both of these players kind of with a mirror build from each other, but Blue seems to be playing this build a little bit faster, and for that reason he does have a 5 villager advantage, and also for that reason it does seem that he is going to have the resource advantage over his opponent here, as his first couple plumes now are running across the field, and he's going to be looking to do the damage here as he sends his Eagle Warrior here to help chuck away this fence. He's also going to have his plumes here to kind of help and double up on that fence as well. So Blue is looking to poke and prod his way into Purple's economy, and Purple responding well, but he still does not have enough plumes here to really do the damage. Blue realizing that, and instead of continuing to pester that fence, he's going to take some free shots on those plumes. Really good fights here from the Blue player, and he just seems to have a little bit bigger military faster than the Purple player. Military numbers are now kind of equaling out, but so far Blue has really been able to take more favorable fights, and there's those 3 militia, and that's the reason for the equaling out. But those militia are not going to be very viable here in this fight. They are going to be a good distraction though for the Purple player, Blue going to be forced to have to fight those militia, and that's going to give Purple a little bit time to run away, a little bit time to kind of get his army back in order. But he does have his gather point sent a little bit too far out here, and that's going to be a little bit frustrating for him, as his army is now separated between these 2 groups a little bit, and that's not exactly what you want to happen. So Blue's going to have to be a little bit more, or excuse me, Purple's going to have to be a little bit more careful about his gathering points to not have those so far away from his castle. Blue taking some shots now at a villager, going to take 1 villager down, and that's going to be a really nice play there for the Blue player. The Blue player now doing a little dodging and weaving, looking to snipe some of these plumed archers. Numbers are about equal now for the players, and Purple with an advantage now because he's able to produce here at home, and Blue has to run all the way across the map to reinforce. So slight advantage here for the Purple player, and we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Blue playing well, and he's actually still, despite that home field advantage, is able to push the pressure, getting a couple kills here, and continuing to keep his military lead for the time being. Now with more plumed archers coming in the back, is Blue trying to keep his military group up and continue this pressure. I will expect to see some villagers running across the map here shortly for the Blue player, as we'll probably see some siege workshops getting plunked down towards the front, but for right now Blue is content to just continue to send plumes across. He is housed at 75. He is going to get wheelbarrow, which is a really good technology to get when you're housed, or just in general, and hopefully we'll see him building some houses as he just did now to be able to continue to keep up his military production. Villager count 58 to 48 now for the Blue player, advantage for the Blue player, and Purple going to send a cheeky villager here to put one stone wall in that the spot of that palisade wall. Blue going to target a different area of the wall now, and he's going to try to poke that down. Purple though is going to try to take a fight now under or at the top of a hill. Blue not really taking the best fight here, and is really going to be outmaneuvered here by Purple, which is a really nice play here by the Purple player, taking those little scattered plumes and sniping them. Really nice play by him, very sharp. But Blue going to run around this cliff, and he's going to come in. Purple does realize this, I think. Maybe not too much. He might think that that's completely closed off. Let's take a look. He does not know that that is not completely closed off, and so he's looking for Blue, but little does he know, Blue has already ran completely past him. This is why you scout every corner of the map. He just did that now, and he realizes, oh no, I just let all those plumes in my economy, and look at what these plumes are going to do. They're going to snipe 1 villager, but Purple's going to respond pretty quickly here, pretty well. He is going to run most of his villagers away. Going to lose another villager now, though, is the Purple player with a already villager deficit. This is just going to continue to grow for the Purple player. The deficit, and a 20 villager advantage now for the Blue player. Ballistics coming in now for the Blue player, and that's going to mean he's going to be able to target moving targets a little bit bit better with more accuracy. So that's really good for him and a nice advantage for him. He's going to want to take every fight as a group. He's going to want to be very careful that he's fighting together. A little bit of a misplay here so far for the blue player. Not really fighting completely together, but now finally getting his troops on the hill, though. It looks like purple maybe just outplayed him slightly a little bit and just had maybe a little bit more numbers and was able to get the better fight here. Mike LML in the chat, welcome to the chat. He's saying, is this a best of 5? These are kind of impromptu games. These players just kind of started battling it out. We saw a first game between these two, and ACCM, the veteran, able to take the first game of the series between these two players. Jibatong, the Chinese SY player, able to take 2 in a row after that, leaving the series 1-2 for Jibatong. Now the question is ACCM going to be able to equalize with the 2-2, or will Jibatong put the final nail in the coffin? Imperial Age coming in now for the blue player Jibatong, and we will see some more castles, and we will see Elite Eagle Warriors and all the technologies that come along with it here for the blue player. As I said, another castle coming out on the front. He's going to continue that plumed archer production, and we will continue to see him with more technologies to really make these plumed archers even more dangerous than they already are. But hey, purple is continuing the archer production. He does have 15 military, 12 military now for the blue player, and purple is on his way to the Imperial Age and not too far behind his opponent, Jibatong. But one area of lack, though, for the purple player is he is about 20 villagers down, and that's going to be a little bit frustrating for him as he's going to be down in economy, and the longer that goes on, it's going to make a bigger and bigger gap between him and his opponent, the blue player. So again, purple finally starting to mount up a nice army of plumes. He's going to be going for ballistics here. Looks like he's going to be going for padded archer armor. Thumb ring now coming in for Jibatong. It's going to give that faster firing for those plumed archers and better accuracy. But yeah, all the technologies now coming out for these players. Nice castle here, though, from Jibatong. 3 castles out on the front for him, put in a very, very defensive posture. He's basically saying, you shall not pass. If you guys have ever seen Lord of the Rings, nobody is getting through these 3 castles. They're impervious, high HP, and extremely high attack, not to mention a perfect place to be building your elite unit, which is going to be the plumed archer here in the case of the Mayans. Very, very strong unit, very, very sticky. They stay on the battlefield very long after they've been placed down. They're hard to get off. They can tank mangonel shots and onager shots quite well, and they're also extremely cheap, and that really makes Maya's a very strong civ. For one, they already have really, really good economic bonuses, and they also have that cheaper unit here for the plumed archers, which just makes them a force to be reckoned with. Conscription now coming out for Jibatong, and he's thinking about really, really keeping the pressure up. Looks like he decided to go conscription before he decided to go elite plumes. Elite plumed archer, though, now for ACCM. But ACCM falling behind, though, in the military production, 18 to 26 for Jibatong. So Jibatong really, with the military numbers, purple going to take a fight here, and it does seem like he's doing the damage with the elite plumes versus the non-elite plumes. Purple going to run back now, thinking that, hey, maybe I've gotten enough kills and I don't want to take any more losses. Let me run back. Blue with a lot of trebuchets out on the front, and he's going to start doing pressure on these castles, and that's going to be really, really bad news for the purple player here. The more castles you lose, the less plumed archers you can make, and that's going to put you even further behind in military production. So that's not what we want to see here for ACCM, but unfortunately the pressure from the blue player is just too strong. Lots of rams now coming out, and I'm sure we're going to see capped rams shortly, and I'm sure we're going to see I'm sure we're going to see Siege Ram after that. Lots of trebuchets now pushing the limit here, and these battering rams going to soak up as much damage as possible here as he throws those in the front. Purple playing very well though, trying to bring some villagers up front because they have a nice attack bonus versus Siege, but Blue, being privy to it, able to snipe all of those villagers off of the Siege Rams, and then he's going to continue his onslaught here as he takes down all of these plumed archers, now targeting the trebuchets with the rams and the plumes. Just amazing push here from the Chinese player Jibatong. And he's now got quite a large number of trebuchets, 5 to be exact. Capped ram now coming in, as we already talked about, and those are going to soak up even more damage now. Jibatong researching chemistry, going to get them, these plumed archers now, another plus attack point, making them +4, which would be 5 + 4, giving them 9 attack total. +3 range, giving them 8 range right now. Really strong upgrades here for these plumed archers. Really strong here from the blue player Jibatong. Purple not giving up though. He's going to be making some rams of his own. Still just regular rams. Capped rams coming in from him now, and he's doing his best to keep up with production and stop this forward aggression. But man, there's just so many trebuchets, and the meta for Maya is being just showcased right now. Blue is putting on a clinic and showing us exactly how it's done. Purple calling the GG. The pressure of the trebuchets, rams, and large number of plumes was too much for the purple player to handle. Blue doing an excellent job of continuing the pressure, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we were able to see an amazing series between a player whom we really didn't know how good he was going to be. Jibatong, I haven't really seen him. He didn't have very many games under his belt, only about 1,000 or 800, whereas ACCM with over 3,000 games. But yes, GG for sure. Mike, why do you say purple no balls? I would like to know why you say that. I don't know. Did you think he just didn't push a lot at the end? Did you think that he just was just playing scared? What was it that you noticed that made you think that the purple player had no balls? Really big balls though for the blue player, I'll tell you that. Big cojones for the blue player. He steps up despite having less games than ACCM, and was able to come in and really put the pressure on the Vietnamese veteran and take a 3-1 advantage over him here out of the 4-game series. So great games here by these two players, China and Vietnamese war. I really enjoyed the games, and I'm just kind of calming down a little bit, kind of taking it all in. We're trying to decide here now what's going to be the next step. ACCM still hanging out in the room. Looks like he's not done with games tonight, but I would assume if he doesn't find a good player to play him, we might see him run off and do something else. Say My Name from the ST clan is here as well. He's going to be a Vietnamese player, and he might step up to fight ACCM soon. I got you, Mike LML saying because he surrendered. Well, Mike, let me ask you this. Do you think he still should have surrendered with a 70 villager disadvantage? Or excuse me, a 30 villager disadvantage? Because he was 30 villagers behind. Another thing that, Mike, and you tuned in kind of late, but another thing that Blue really had going for him is he had 5 trebuchets on the field. And because he was able to get his trebuchets out so fast, he was able to clear Purple's castles really fast, and because he was able to clear the castles, Purple was not able to make trebuchets of his own. And the lack of trebuchets, the lack of siege, and his inability to keep up with plume production, all of those factors showed him that he was just at a never-ending battle, a hole that he could not climb out of. And I think his GG was definitely acceptable because of the disadvantage that he had in economy and in military. But that's just my perspective, and again, you came in a little bit late, but altogether still amazing series. Wow, I expected ACCM to actually have, this was an upset in my opinion. I believe Jibatong was the underdog here, but indeed Jibatong was able to take 3 games off of ACCM. ACCM only with 1 out of the 4. So really great games here. ACCM continuing to hang out in the lobby. We're going to take a look now at some of the other lobbies and see if there's anything else. Extremely strong casting this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing some studying. We've been studying on how to improve on our casting, so we've been doing that. And we're going to continue to try to improve on our casting and also just our stream in general, so we're committed to improving. And so hopefully some of that practice and some of that preparation is coming out tonight as we're trying to bring our casting skills to the next level, and we're just going to take it one day at a time and try to slowly but surely improve. Mike LML, thank you so much for being here as usual and giving your input on the match. Really good matchup in my opinion. I wish maybe you would have gotten here a bit sooner to see that full game, and you might have had a slightly different perspective. But either way, still really great game. I wish I could have seen a little bit more out of ACCM, and that might be what you're referring to, but either way, still great games by both of these players. And for now, we will take a look and see if we can find another game to check out. Mike LML saying, I'm always late for AOC. Oh, no big deal, Mike. You can never be too late for AOC, that's for sure. It's you can come on here at any time and find games, and you know, the community always got something going on. So if you want to taste, there's always something, and if you miss something, there's always something new to see. So no big deal at all there. We see another potential matchup. This is a player that I've been wanting to watch now for a little while. I just saw him. He's a 2K rated player. He may have moved. Let me take a look where he just went. His name is Happy Girls. I've been looking to watch him lately, and we'll see if we can find his game now. I just saw him. Let's go into here, and we'll see if we can find Happy Girls. He should be waiting. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. He's not there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Happy Girls. He's not here. Where did he go? He must have left, and now he's just roaming. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Happy Girls, nowhere to be seen. Maybe he just logged off. I'm not quite sure. So for the time being, ACCM is still waiting in room 1. Nobody really stepping up to the plate now for him for a battle. A player named Zeke, 1667 player here in game 16. But we're looking for something a little bit higher level, no offense to him. And if we have to, we might still cast that. But we're looking for a little bit higher level games here. We've had a real treat tonight. This 4-game series, some very, very strong gameplay by these players, also some strong casting tonight as well. And so I've been very, very happy with the results so far of tonight's casting of AOC. So we really came in here energized and came in here for some strong casting. Things are kind of slowing down a little bit here as we're kind of just waiting a little bit, looking around for a game. Unfortunately, nothing's really popping up right away, but we're going to continue to scout a little bit more here, no pun intended, and see if we're able to snag another high-level game, 1900, maybe 2K game for our viewing pleasure. I'm looking here, seeing a lot of 15, 16, 17 plus games, not really seeing a lot of 2K games. Looks like ACCM is going to be throwing up a Nomad team game, and those are going to be a little bit more faster pace as far as their speed goes and streaming them. So I'm not quite sure that we're going to be tuning in for that team game. Wow. But yeah, extremely strong casting, extremely strong games by these players, extremely fun. Let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick smoke break. I'm going to go finish. I have half of a cigarette to finish. I'm going to go do that very quickly, take a few sips of water, come right back. I think what we're going to do is come back, check out the lobby, and maybe let's see here, maybe come back, check out the lobby, and see if we can get another game going or not. So we'll have to wait and see if we'll be able to get another game going or not for AOC. If we're unable to find any good games, we still might switch into something else like PUBG or Dirty Bomb, but it all depends. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'll come right back. I'm going to leave you guys with some copyright-free music, and I'm also going to leave you guys with a nice little screen here that allows you to know that I will be back soon. I'm not leaving you guys forever. I do plan on being back. So let's go ahead and switch and get into our playlist, and then we will be able to give some nice music here while we go off and have a quick smoke and come back. So here's the music. Thank you guys again for tuning in. My name is Hidden Gems Gamer, aka Gems. I'm here to do my thing here in the AOC community and also on these Twitch streets all together. I'm going to run off for a quick cigarette and I'll be back. Thanks for tuning in here tonight, you guys, and I'll see you momentarily. What's up, you guys? We've had 2 new follows today. We've had some extremely exciting casting here tonight. We are actually going to commit to 2 more games of AOC. We're here to continue to push the limit here with the AOC casting. We want to improve. We're committed to improving, and we're committed to getting better. And so that's what we're going to do. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have tuned in tonight here. I appreciate it. We are going to continue just as we have been. We're not going anywhere here tonight. The gameplay is still coming in here live. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the cam off for just a moment here as I switch into the Voobly Messenger, or excuse me, the room here, so that we can find another high-level rated game for our viewing pleasure here tonight. I am still just setting up one more thing here, so I will be back with my beautiful mug here momentarily for your guys' viewing pleasure. So please continue to stay tuned as we continue to get things lined up here and get things ready for another half of some more AOC action. Thank you guys again for tuning in. My name is Hidden Gems Gamer, aka Gems. I do this for a hobby. I do this for fun. I'd like to see and have it grow into something even more, something bigger than me. But that's a little ways down the road. We got a short-term goals. We have long-term goals, and our short-term goal today was just to have a successful stream, and so far that has been the case. We wanted to have some strong casting, and I feel that so far I have delivered, but we're not done yet. We still have a little bit more AOC action here for you tonight. Like I said, at least 2 more games, and we're going to be scouting out for some strong level games. Again, as I said, I have one more thing to set up here, and I will be right back with you guys. I do apologize about the delay, and for those of you who are staying around, I appreciate your patience and for spending your Saturday night here with me live here on Hidden Gems Gamers channel. Yes, so we're an up-and-coming streamer. We stream AOC. You can also catch me playing some PUBG and some Dirty Bomb. Also doing some other various gameplay and other activities as well. So just stick around for the future and for tonight, and to see where this channel goes and how things unfold. We've had people already supporting us with donations. We've also had people supporting us with follows and just being here. All of those things, whether it's financial, which is obviously not expected, or whether it's views or follows or whatever the case may be, all of it really helps support my stream and helps me to grow. So you guys just being here is helpful, and I appreciate that. I'm here tonight on this beautiful Saturday evening here, August 20th, here as fall is slowly coming in here in Midwest America, and the temperatures are slowly starting to cool down here. Warmer night for us though tonight, and it seems like things are going to continue to stay warm here this weekend here in the Midwest. But I hope you guys are having some nice enjoyable weather where you guys are, and I also hope that you guys are going to enjoy here. I'm going to leave you guys with 10 more seconds of music here, and then we are going to begin another game, and I will turn on my cam right after that. So let me just leave you with about 10 more seconds of music here. Chronic Twitch, still showing love, still sticking around in the chat. Thank you so much, my dear friend, for sticking around and showing your support by being here. August 20th for me, yes sir, I am from the future. If you want the Powerball numbers, just ask me. They're 49, 36, 27, 18, and the Powerball is red 42. These are the numbers for the Powerball because I'm in the future, and you'll want those. All I ask for is a small cut. Just 5% of whatever you make off of that Powerball would be sick, absolutely sick. I don't think 5% is too much to ask. All right. guys can see my beautiful face here. It's not the most beautiful face, but it's the face that God gave me, and for that I have to be thankful, because he could have given me a different one. But I'm happy with the one that I was given. I was happy with the voice that I was given and the skills that I was given. And you guys should be too, because each of us have our own set of skills and talents and things that we are given, and we want to use those for the best way possible. And tonight, before doing some streaming here, I took some time to study. I took some time to prepare. I took some time to get ready for a nice cast, and I committed myself to improving, and I think I can already see a little bit of that improvement here tonight. But we're not done growing, and we're not done getting better. So continue on my journey with me, and hopefully you guys get inspired as well. Here we go. Looks like we could be seeing a good game here, but this looks like a team game, unfortunately. 2 1900 players, but they're both from the same clan. We kind of want to stay away from team games if we can, but if we're forced to cast one, we will. And the reason why team games just have so much action going on typically, they can be kind of hard to follow. But hey, if that's really going to be the most exciting matchup for tonight, then I think we will actually make a sacrifice here, and we will go for one of those team games. But we're going to continue to look around and see what else is going on. Those team games are not starting yet. It doesn't look like, as I scroll through the lobby, and as you guys stick with me, it doesn't look like there's anything too exciting right now. So we're not missing really any exciting action as of right now from what it looks like. Just a lot of 1500, 1600, 1700 rated games. But what we're really looking for are those 1800, 1900, and 2K rated players to go into battle and to go into war with each other. And if we can watch some of that excitement, that is what we're looking for this evening. This team game, Arabia game, is going to be going on, and now what we're going to be doing is going ahead and jumping into this 2v2. I do think we could expect to see a good matchup. Alice, ACCM, VG Breve, and JX Stone are now going to have a 2v2 matchup, and I'm excited to see these players battle it off, as it's only going to be a 2v2, and 2v2s are honestly much easier to cast, ladies and gentlemen, than like a 4v4 or a 3v3 even. So we're looking forward to this. We're going to go ahead and be getting into that shortly. In the chat, Juno's Human, I noticed your message right away. I'm just going to go ahead and let things flow. So if you guys notice a little pause between the time that your message comes and the time that I speak or respond, it's just simply because I'm trying to keep things flowing. But your question is, how long have you been playing AoE? That's an interesting question for me. So I started playing Age of Empires when I was about 8 years old, 9 years old or something. My cousin brought the game over to me. My cousin, he was a couple years older than me and always got me into everything. But he introduced Age of Empires to me, and when I played Age of Empires as a kid, 8, 9, 10 years old, is a lot different than the way that I play it now. I would play a game against the computer, like a 1v1, and I would like save the same game. It'd be like a 1, 2, 3, 4 hour game that I would play over the period of days. And I would keep going back to this game with bombard towers and like huge wars, long drawn out wars. And then, I kind of got out of AOC. I kind of stopped playing it. And then about 1 to 2 years ago or so, for some reason I found Twitch, and I started to look up different games on Twitch, and I was like, well, I wonder about Age of Empires. And I found that Age of Empires actually had people playing it, and I was absolutely shocked. And from that moment, I was like, there's a lot more to Age of Empires than I really ever knew. Like, I didn't know how much strategy there was. Like I said, I played these long drawn out wars. Now I'm seeing players do things like bring their boar back to their town center or push their deer in with their scout, and I'm like, I never thought of these things as a kid, and it started to bring a new appreciation for the game. I went to a few channels, namely Resonance 22 on YouTube. I also went to Zero Empires. His name is Zach. I started watching commentary or like tutorials on how to improve and what it meant and what different things meant and how to take advantage of different strategies. So all in all, I only have a few years of AOC total under my belt. I've known about the game for very long, but it's just been over the last like 2 years or so that I've really been watching a lot of tutorials on how to play, watching a lot of pro players gameplay, watching a lot of casting too from a lot of the other streamers out there like Memb and Zero Empires and people like that have really brought the game back into the forefront. To me, those are some of the people that have really helped keep Age of Empires alive, and I think the Age of Empires community owes a lot to those players. Well, not owes a lot to them, but should be thankful is what I should say, that they're helping keeping Age of Empires alive. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a small summary of how long I've been playing AoE and kind of my history behind AoE. Again, it's not that long, but the last couple of years have been intense. When I first started playing again, like I said, about 2 years ago, I found the game to still be very challenging, very frustrating, a lot to learn, but I had about 10-20 games of AOC, and now I have about 300 games of AOC, so I know that's not still a ton, but in just a short period of time, I really buckled down and attempted to get better. I would consider myself still not a very good player, but I understand the game. My execution is not always as good as what you've seen tonight. If you've been sticking around in Juno's Human, you have been here for most of the night. You've seen what ACCM and that Chinese SY player, Jagasby, I think his name was. I don't remember how to pronounce it correctly, but we saw the level of gameplay that those players are playing at, and I don't possess that. I don't have that execution. AOC requires a lot of attention to detail and different interactions all at once, and I find that to be a little bit challenging for my brain, but I definitely have improved, and I still want to continue to improve in AOC. I just take it a little bit at a time here and there, but yeah, so yeah, small details make a huge difference. Juno's Human, and every single day as I watch new streams, like Slamboy is now streaming, and his stream is just doing absolutely excellent, but when I watch his stream and I see some of the things that he shows, some of the small details that I never knew, like clicking up to the castle age and making sure that your villagers that your wood never gets above, like, say 100. That means you're spending it so fast, you're making farms so fast that you're spending your wood extremely quick. And Slam was saying if your wood goes past like 150 or 160, you might as well just call it GG. So something as small as not spending your wood fast enough to get farms fast enough is something that Slamboy was talking about in his stream the other day, that even I was like, wow, I need to learn so much more about this game still. And again, those details can be frustrating for players, so if you're still learning AOC, I just encourage you to take it one day at a time. Also try to have fun, try to play with players like friends and people that will make it more fun for you. But yeah, also watch casters, commentators like myself. Memb is great, Zero Empires, Resonance 22, players like that, and then also watching from the perspective of some of the pro players is also really exciting as well. Nomad is a very, very interesting map as we make transition. I'll kind of turn down the music, even though the music has been quite nice tonight, boys. Before the stream, I was able to go online and find some non-copyright music here on YouTube, and that I feel like has made a nice difference here to the stream, with some nice, cool, upbeat techno music and electronic music. But for the time being, we are going to switch roles. We're going to get back into the casting of AOC. That's what we came here for. That's what you guys are here for, and that's what I intend to bring, some exciting AOC action. Green and red versus blue and purple. I almost feel that this is a mismatched game, you guys. As a caster, I'm going to try to keep my personal opinion out of it, and I'm going to try to keep it professional and try to give an unbiased opinion. With that being said, Alice plays a lot of Nomad. Alice is the blue player. I'm not sure if it's a female or not, but I believe it is. And Alice, with an 1800 rank here in Vubli, random map Medieval Siege. Purple, ACCM. We've watched 4 games with him tonight. Excellent games. As I tab out to turn off the score here, I apologize, bear with me. Boom. But yeah, with his rank being 2010, The green player here, 1743, and the red player, 1757. So again, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is we have a 1700 or 1750 rated players versus 1800 to 2K rated players. So I think there is a little bit of a score discrepancy here. Green and red Chinese players here again are going to be the ones with a slight point disadvantage as far as Voobly rating goes. Zen Haiku in the chat saying these same mechanics are what are so incredible about StarCraft 2 on the competitive level. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely. Zen Haiku, I've heard that about StarCraft. I heard it's also a very exciting game to watch, an exciting game to cast. I've watched a couple casts from it and it has been exciting. I never played it as a child. I never played it as a kid. I don't know the game. I don't know the mechanics of the game. So I'm almost intimidated to check into it. But the more that people like yourself and others tell me about it, makes me a little bit more curious and makes me want to think about it. One of my coworkers who actually knows that I stream and cast, and he's watched some of my YouTube videos and such, and giving me tips and supporting me and such, he told me that I should also cast StarCraft 2. So that's something that I've thought about, but you know, I don't know the game, but it does look interesting, and maybe I'll have to look more into it. Thank you for your comments on Haiku. I appreciate that, sir, and I appreciate you sticking around also for quite a long time here. It's been a lit stream so far, if I do say so myself, and we're going to continue the action here as the red player is getting a little bit of a forward here from the blue player. Blue, let's see, blue and red very close. These are going to be enemies here, and then purple is going to be pretty close here to or actually purple is going to be kind of out by himself here in the northwest of the map, up here in the top, if you see where my cursor is. Green is going to be right here, if you see where my cursor is, here on the bottom right, and also blue is actually going to be right here, and red's going to be here. So blue and red, opposing teams here, but they're going to be right next to each other.
Yes.
And another interesting aspect of this game is that the green player is actually going... Okay, so I got the players who are on the same team confused. I apologize. Purple and blue, and then, yes, red and green. So what the problem here is that blue is going to kind of be off on his own here against the green and red player. So blue is his partner is kind of far away here, you know, and backup is a long ways from home. So we'll have to wait and see exactly if blue is able to kind of hold off. I think we'll see some early pressure from red and the green player. I think we'll see some early pressure from them, and the question is, will ACCM and Alice be able to put up with this pressure and be able to really deal with it? Chronic Twitch still hanging out. He's saying StarCraft 2 is fun. It would be cool to watch you do that, as I know more about that than I do AoE. For sure, yeah, I totally understand how that would be more interesting to you, as you already kind of have a background of the game and kind of know it already. Totally makes sense, Chronic, for sure. Yeah, again, I'll probably have to check out some videos, or maybe watch some Twitch channels of some StarCraft myself, and maybe start exploring it a little bit more. When it comes to new things, I'm kind of a closed-minded person. I don't like to jump at the newest thing. I'm the kind of person that likes to stick with the things that I've known and the things that I like, and that makes me kind of closed-minded in a way in that sense. But it's always nice when you open up a little bit and you do find something that you thought wasn't going to be as cool as it was, and it happens to be extremely cool, and that's always nice when that happens. But for now, blue going to be doing a little bit of fishing here, gathering berries, gathering some fish here with this Vil, and that's what's going on here. Purple also with one villager down here, and that's nice because, again, I told you that purple wasn't very close to his partner blue here. That means blue might be in trouble if purple didn't have any reinforcements, but indeed purple has brought a villager down here. It's only one, but it should be at least something to kind of help things out. All players here fishing, all of them with about 6 or 7 fishing ships, and fish are really good sources of food income, and they're really important, and that's why we see all these players taking so much fish. Just keep watching and learn. SC2 is fun, but nothing compared to AoE. Yes, I agree with Juno's Humans comment, even though I don't really know StarCraft 2 as much. Yeah, just keep watching and learning, and maybe playing, but not just watching me, but also watching some other casters and some other streamers as well. There's a lot of people that know a lot about the game and have really good inputs and insights, but again, you sticking around here, guys, you're going to find some informative, entertaining, and exciting matchups and some good information here in my stream as well. But I do encourage you to check out some other streamers too that play AoE and cast AoE, because they have some good information that will help you continue to stay engaged and excited about the game. And as the game starts to make a little bit more sense, some of the mechanics and the different things make more sense as well. So you just got to kind of stick with it. But yeah, purple gonna continue his fishing here, and so here's another example of a minor detail. Villagers taking fish is one of the fastest resource gatherings in the game. It's extremely fast, and that's why we see purple here taking advantage of that and getting these shore fish. And then also a very fast resource in the game is deep fish, deep sea fish. So like this one here, for example, or these. The boats actually collect the fish faster than many other resources compared to, like, say a villager collecting sheep. So that's why not only is fish important because it's very free in a sense food, you still have to pay for the ships, but it's also some of the fastest gathering food, and that's what makes it extremely viable. Trying to keep up with the chat the best I can, and also trying to keep up with the gameplay as best as I can. Looks like here Chronic is saying, yeah, I've noticed AoE has more to do than StarCraft, which makes it harder for me. Gems has been helping me get better. Indeed, I've been trying my best to do that. Maybe we need to play a few more casual games. I feel like sometimes when I'm trying to teach new players, maybe I play a little bit too aggressive, and I don't like that because I don't want to deter anybody from liking the game, and so I need to really be careful about that. Because AOC is quite a fun game. It's a good game to check out if you're into strategy games. It's one of the best strategy games that I know of. It's really fun. Let's see, AoE is simple to play but extremely difficult to play on a high level. That's exactly right, Juno's Human. It's a simple game to play. The mechanics are not that complicating, but once you realize that there's faster or quicker or more effective or efficient ways to do things, it makes it, if you don't know those things or trying to learn all those things or execute all those things at once, really makes it difficult to be good at this game. It is possible though, and all the high rated players will say, watch other high rated players play a lot of games. You're only going to get better through practice. And then also watch your recorded games back. See what you did wrong. See what mistakes you made. See what things you could have done better. Where are some points where you should have maybe attacked and pushed the pressure and been more aggressive, or some points where you should have been more defensive and maybe shouldn't have rushed out. So watching recorded games of yourself playing is also helpful to improve. And Voobly actually records every game that you play, so it's kind of set to do that, which makes it really simple and really easy to watch back your games or to check out other players' games. So that's very nice. Blue playing this really well. Remember, we were worried about blue here at the beginning of the game because blue is sandwiched again between red and green. So he kind of has red to his northeast and he has green to his south, and because of that, he's kind of here in between two enemies. So that was a difficult aspect for him, and I was kind of worried for him here at the beginning, but so far he's playing pretty well, and not into too much trouble. This tower is a little bit threatening to him, as it does hold off some of this stone and cancel some of this wood line for him. So blue is not able to collect from this wood line because of this tower. So really, really good tower here by the red player. One of its most detrimental aspects of the game is it isn't a casual endeavor. It's almost too hard. Makes for a fantastic watch. Love these high level games tonight. Great play all around. Aspects of SC2, sorry. Zen Haiku, yeah, definitely. Sometimes it's just fun to watch because you can appreciate the high level, but actually executing it can be difficult, and it just requires a high level of skill. So definitely watching them can be quite fun. And yes, good gameplay all around from so many players here tonight, and we've seen a really good lineup of players with tremendous skill. Yes, AOCZone.net, great resource, great place to check out all the matchups, all the upcoming tournaments, all the tournaments that are going on. Check out all the players and their histories and watch their recorded games and different things like that. So yes, AOCZone.net, great resource, and very important to stay in touch with the AOC community. Yes, I think I've already done that once, Juno's Human, but I do think I may need to check and make sure everything's updated and up to date. So that is something I do need to do. So thank you for that reminder, and I will be doing that here. It may be on there, but it may need to be updated, or I just need to double check that it's still there. I was streaming last year this time, and kind of went back to my old internet, and it was slow again, and so I couldn't really continue my streams, but I just upgraded permanently. I canceled my old internet, and I have fast internet now, so I'm dedicated to streaming for the next 4 months, and to really trying to get better as a caster, and continue to bring fun and exciting coverage to AOC and to other games as well. Alright, so we see a little bit of water fight here now. The purple player is kind of spread all around the map, which is really good for him. He's going to be building a nice southern dock. ACCM playing quite well here with the southern dock, holding down more map control, more water control. Going to be producing a little bit more military. 4 military for him, 7 for the green player, 7 for the red player, and only 4 for Alice. So even despite this bottom dock, green and red just able to keep up with a large military production. Green here taking a favorable fight versus ACCM, and is able to clear up his navy, and that's going to be unfortunate for ACCM. Blue here with 2 galleys left, and he's going to be running around. Only 2 military. This is his final military. Red is going to take a fight here, but red has 1 low galley and is going to lose it here quite quickly. Blue is going to now have an advantage here, 2-1, and maybe he'll be able to take down this other galley here if he's lucky. He might even want to run this other galley away. Yeah, he should run that other galley away, but he's not. He will lose 1 more galley. Oh, nope. Wow, the 2v1, strong, super strong. He's going to lose no galleys, going to kill 2. Great play here from blue, and it looks like I still think green and red are going to be holding the water control a little bit better. As I say that, though, purple here still with a couple more fire ships. He has not given up the water, and he refuses to do so. Green, though, trying to get rid of these docks, trying to take water control back. Water control is extremely important. It gives you control over all those fish, and it also allows you to make landings and attack on water. So anytime there's a large body of water in a map, you'll always see players fighting over the water. It's very, very important to have water control. You need to have water control to have success, especially in these high rated games. Water control is extremely important, and usually, typically, most of the time, I would say 80% of the time, the players that control the water win the game. And that's just the way that it goes for water maps. Water maps are just really, really important to have water control. Purple, though, ACCM making a demolition ship. He's only going to be able to get 1 of them out. He did do quite a bit of damage to these fire ships here, now with only about 10 HP remaining on both of them. So that was a cheeky play there by ACCM, but will it be enough to really hold on the water? I don't really think so. Green here making another dock, and he's going to be continuing the production. Another dock out here again for him. That's at least 3 docks for the green player, and he is not playing around. He's going to continue his military production. Fire ships coming out for him, and he's going to clear the remaining docks of the purple player. Again, this goes back to what I was saying. how water control is extremely important. Look at all this free fish. If you want to get this fish, you need to keep your enemy out of it. You need to kill them so they can't take your fish from you. And that's exactly what Purple is doing here. He's coming in. ACCM, though, with a whole bunch of demo ships, he's going to do the damage. A little bit better micro could have been there, but ACCM still taking quite a favorable fight here. And really doing the damage here against the green player. Green now down to only 6 military, but he isn't going to be finished with his military production. As we've been watching so much of the battles here on the water, we've kind of missed a little bit of what's going on the land. Blue has put a defensive castle here on his base. And this is really just, he got rid of that tower, he's kind of killed that tower, and he wants this farmland, he wants this stone, and he just wants a nice defensive positioning for the front of his base. He doesn't want to allow enemies to be able to run in here, he doesn't want to allow enemies to come in and kill his villagers on the farms, and he wants to be able to get this stone here safely if he can as well. So that's why we see this defensive castle here. Castles can either be put in a defensive or an offensive position, and here we see the blue player putting it in more of a defensive position, trying to defend his economy and trying to make it more difficult for his enemy to come in and raid his villagers and get villager kills. So blue going to be totally fine with putting down a defensive castle here. Green also kind of scattered out throughout the map. Green making knights. Knights, an extremely powerful unit. They are very strong. Alice is in the chat saying to her ally, Purple, they're saying, do they have water now? And then ACCM said, I killed the fish. So ACCM is saying that he killed the fish. I don't know that that's 100% true. 4 fish left, 6 fish left for the green and red player respectively. 7 fish for ACCM and no fish at all for Alice. But we can also see the score here. Fish are very important. And the villager leads are about the same. 10 villager disadvantage for the Vietnamese and Alice's team, for ACCM and Alice. But they still are sticking in there despite that 10 villager disadvantage. Alice is the one here who's actually not really keeping up with villager production. 10 villagers behind is Alice, but Alice doing her best, or their best, to stick in this, playing so close to so many people, kind of just scrunched up in the middle here. Not much room for Alice to really spread her wings and really get a lot of farms and other resources. So she's kind of scrunched in and kind of suffocated a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see if when and how red and green are going to take advantage of this suffocation. I don't know if they're going to do it right now, but it does look like the only player on their way to the Imperial Age, JX Stone, the green player here, and he's on his way to the Imperial Age. I think we'll see him go into Cavalier and then into Paladin. And the Celts have some pretty, or they get Paladin. They're not amazingly strong. I think they do lack bloodlines, which means they're going to miss that 20% HP increase. So that's unfortunate for the Celts, but they still get Paladin, and Paladin are extremely strong, very tanky units as far as archer fire. They're really good at raiding and really good at getting those villager kills. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see players always go down the Paladin line. I've heard it been said that if you're on a team game and your civilization gets Paladin, you should go Paladin every time. There's no ands, if, or buts. So Paladin are just that strong, and they're one of the strongest units in the game, and you'll consistently see players who get Paladin for their civilization to research that and go that route here in these team games. In 1v1s, it's not always necessary to go Paladin, and sometimes it's a bad choice. Like a 1v1 Hun War, the other player can really mass up a lot of cavalry archers, and that can really make the difference. So that's an instance where a player might not choose to go down the Knight and Paladin line in a 1v1. But here in team games, when you can team fight with your ally, and you guys can mix in and get a nice military composition, maybe archers and Paladin, or something like that, it makes those Paladin even more viable and even more of a good investment for your team. The game is slowly starting to heat up here. ACCM, though, with a lot of Eagle Warriors, he's going to be sending them down into Green's economy. I'm not sure exactly what he can see here. Let's turn on the Fog of War and see what he scouted out. He does know that there's a wood line around here, and he does know that there's enemies about. So I think we will see ACCM get a few kills here, but as I say that, Stone, the green player here, JX Stone, with a lot of Woad Raiders, and those are going to be pretty strong against these Eagle Warriors. Eagle Warriors, not very good melee units. They have high pierce armor, so that means they're going to have really good armor against town centers, against other archers and things like that, any arrow fire. But when it comes to fighting 1v1 in a melee, these Eagle Warriors are not usually the best unit to choose versus another melee unit. So these Woad Raiders are going to be a really great counter for the Eagles. Extremely great counter for those Eagle Warriors. The blue player here is still kind of suffocating. Doesn't seem like she's really able to pull out that villager deficit, but red hasn't really been keeping up with production too much, so it looks like red and blue, the opposing players here, they're actually going to be about tied, and green and purple, wow, purple actually with a 20 villager advantage over green. So I don't think we should count Alice and ACCM out here. It looks like ACCM is really doing his best to keep up with his economy, and he's trying to do the damage with these Eagle Warriors. I think what we're going to need to see here, though, by ACCM is I think we're going to have to really see some plumed archers if we want to see him hold this game. And the reason why I say that is green is going to be going into these Celtic, these Woad Raiders, and these Woad Raiders, wherever they are, I'm looking all around for them. Here they are. They're really good raiding units too. They're called Elite Woad Raiders. They're very good at raiding. They're very good at doing damage to an economy or the trade of your opponents. And yes, plumed archers I think would be a good choice here for ACCM if he can afford them, and I would like to see him starting to produce them here in the near future. For now, though, ACCM is going to be content with going down the Eagle Warrior path. He's going to be getting all the upgrades for them and making sure that they are nice and beefy and ready to do the raids here on his opponent. The green player now getting plate mail armor, though. He's going to be getting that extra armor for his Woad Raiders. He does have Elite Woad Raiders. 13+1 attack for 14 attack here on these Woad Raiders. And here we can see a small fight between these Eagle Warriors. The Eagle Warriors do have the numbers, but like I said, the Woad Raiders are extremely strong. Though it does seem that the numbers did really make the difference. Those Eagle Warriors, nothing to scoff at, really taking a fight. But here, Eagle Warriors recognizing that they're kind of disadvantaged as far as numbers go. Now a little bit too afraid to take a fight here, and the Eagle Warriors are going to run right past these Woadies, probably go into the economy of the green player and start to look for some kills. Here, ACCM still content to just run these back, and the Eagle Flood is continuing to pour out of ACCM's base. We see the plumed archers coming out now, and another castle now here for ACCM on the front. Exactly what I was calling for are those plumed archers, and it looks like ACCM is not going to disappoint us. He is going to deliver with the plumed archers, and the Eagle Warrior is are going to continue to flood across the map and into green's economy. Really nice play here by ACCM as he turns it up. And now ACCM also fighting on the east side as well, trying to help out his teammate, and really they're pushing red back, kind of cutting red off into two corners of the map, and that's not going to really be ideal for red. Red's sticking in there, but really not being too threatening. Only 11 military on the field for red, and nothing too threatening coming out for him yet. ACCM, though, going to be bunching up these Eagle Warriors, not really spreading them out and looking for kills like he really should be, in my opinion. So he's going to lose quite a few Eagle Warriors here, but not that bad of an exchange here. Those Eagle Warriors are beefy, but here we still can see with about equal number of both Eagle Warriors and Woad Raiders, those Woad Raiders really with that better attack and just stronger versus melee units there are those Woad Raiders, so they are going to be trading a little bit more cost effectively versus those Eagle Warriors. But again, what we want to see from the purple player is those plumed archers. Plume archers, remember, archers are going to be good against cavalry. They're going to be good against infantry units. And so that's why we see ACCM really switching up, making multiple units, because making a multiple units is really going to kind of cover the backs of your other unit and play off of its weaknesses and its strengths. And that's what we see here. The Woad Raiders, or the Eagle Warriors, excuse me, are not very good against the Woad Raiders. They're really, really good at raiding, but they're susceptible to these Woad Raiders. But the plumed archers are really, really good against the Woad Raiders. So here we see ACCM really doing a good job of making multiple units in his military, making a multi-dimensional military. And that's what's going to really be effective for him as he tries to do the damage here to green. ACCM, 111 villagers, green with only 99. Blue coming back from the depths with 91 villagers now. Red, 70. Blue and purple really holding on to this game, and despite being disadvantaged in the mid-game, Blue now making his way to the Imperial Age. ACCM helped push everything back. Green now trying to make a push with these Woadies, but he's really forced with a lot of threats here with these plumed archers and eagles. Now purple with such a large military, 69 military, giggity for purple, and now we have 61 military for the green player. Things are really starting to heat up now in this late game, and I'm not quite sure when we're going to see these final moves or these final maneuvers, but right now things are really starting to heat up as we see a large number of Eagle Warriors, a large number of plumed archers on the front. Green researching fortified wall here, trying to beef up those walls and make it even harder for purple to penetrate. Purple making these petards. Petards are going to be good for just blowing through the walls here, and so he's going to be using them as self-sabotaging or self-detonating units to go through and break this wall. Onager coming in now for the Celts. They do get pretty good siege, and the green player going to be looking for some good shots now on the purple player. Purple player microing very well and sneaking right past the shots of that mangonel, running up, sniping that mangonel, gonna run away from this castle so he's not taking a fight there. And with a huge military, the speed of these plumed archers and these eagle warriors are really going to be quite effective here for him to get the distance away from this onager, send in the eagle warriors to snipe the onager and get that really, this was the most threatening unit on the field here for purple. He ran his units away. It drew green out. Green came up with his mangonel, and purple ran some eagle warriors behind it and sniped it. Amazing micro here by ACCM. We're seeing him play absolutely phenomenal here in this mid to late game for the purple player, really carrying his team to victory so far, as it seems, here in the late game. And the blue player Alice really wasn't able to keep up with villager production at the beginning of the game, but she has just had the opportunity to sit back on her duff and really raise up a good economy. Now with the highest villager count in the game is Alice, the blue player, who was scrunched up in the middle of her two enemies at the beginning, now with 128 villagers, and now going into chainmail armor. I think we'll start to see Woad Raiders now from the blue player as well, and when that happens, it's going to be really tough for the red and green player, the Christmas colors, to hold on. Siege onager now from the Celtic player. He's going to be looking for some shots, going to take a few minor peripheral plumed archers out, but for the most part ACCM doing really well of just sniping those siege onagers with those eagle warriors, just using the speed of the eagle warriors to really go in there and take care of this siege, because the siege here is one of the most threatening units to ACCM. Right here, the siege getting some really nice shots on these trebuchets, being a very threatening unit to these trebuchets. But here ACCM taking a pretty bad fight though, here on the front with all these Woadies, and he's going to lose all of his eagles there. Blue though trying to take control of the water. He's going to be fighting all these ships here. A lot of the fish are gone here, but still red has been able to get all these fish for free, and that's really good for him. He has 13 fish, so he's had a really good fish boom, and I do expect him to be making some units here soon because his economy is finally really up to snuff. He is kind of making some plumed archers here, getting chemistry now, trying to get the damage on with these plumed archers. He is going to take down some eagle warriors here now that were trying to do the damage in his base. Eagle warrior or plumed archers with an attack bonus versus eagle warriors, and these plumes really doing the damage versus these eagles. Still, eagles are going to be able to run all around, and really, like I said, tremendous raiding units. When they get in your economy, they're very difficult to get out. They have such good armor against these town centers, and they're able to just run around and pick off villagers and start to create that economic gap or that economic disadvantage between you and your enemy. Really good play here. We miss a huge shot from an onager here. It looks like somebody lost about 20 units in one shot. Unfortunately, we don't know who it was or what happened, but I'm assuming the purple player got absolutely shredded here by the green player. 164 deaths here for ACCM, 215 kills, and so I'm assuming here that the green player was able to get some really nice onager shots and really do the damage and clean up a large chunk of purple's army. Purple with some really nice gameplay and tremendous game knowledge here, using the eagle warriors to come in here and really snipe down those onagers. Again, I told you before that these onagers are some of the most threatening units for ACCM as the Mayans. These onagers are really the only thing that can really do the damage against his plumed archers, and his plumed archers are really the ones there that are really going to be able to hold map control and really make the push and the aggression, whereas the eagle warriors are really going to be able to do the raiding really well and get those villager snipes and those villager kills. And they're also going to be really good at sniping siege, and that's exactly what we see ACCM trying to do here. He's trying to snipe these trebuchets. He's trying to get these trebuchets down. We're going to turn down the game sound just a bit. He's trying to get these trebuchets down. He's taking a somewhat favorable fight here on the front with all these plumed archers. Look at them in the back just sniping all these woad raiders, and that big army that green just had, you can kiss that goodbye. Purple pushing in, trying to do the damage. He's looking for some villager kills. I think we'll see him run up on this stone mine potentially and maybe get a few snipes. No, he's going to think twice about it. He's going to run back. Looks like trebuchets now coming up on the front, and this is tremendous gameplay here by the purple player. It looks like blue has finally now really started to push his military production. He's going to be reinforcing his teammate here with some elite woad raiders of his own. 17 attack there on those bad boys, and it looks like Stone, the green player, going to resign, not even say GG in the game. And just going to go ahead and call it. And there's Breve with his exit as well. And unfortunately, no GG, but good game by all four of those players. Really nice games. Wow. Good games, boys. Good games. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a nice little matchup, nice little nomad matchup. It looked like in the beginning of the game that the Breve and Stone were actually going to push a nice advantage, but late game, ACCM, Alice were able to turn it around. ACCM really able to carry for his team and really turn things around there at the middle to the late game, making the difference. Alice, the blue player, really able to boom up after that, after ACCM really started to put the pressure on, and Alice able to boom up, get a nice economy, and really start to make some woad raiders there at the end. But again, the story tonight for that game was all ACCM really there carrying his team, really making all the damage with the Eagle Warriors, with the plumes, and doing all the right things at all the right times. All the snipes from the Eagle Warriors on those onagers were really strong. I do think we saw him take a few shots from the onager, but all in all, we saw some great play there by ACCM. And all four players, again, played tremendously well. It looks like we are going to be seeing a rematch here now between ACCM and Alice versus VG Breve and JX Stone. So here we have it, another game, boys and girls. So we're going to go ahead and wait for the game to launch. In the meantime, I will be putting up the player flags and the player names. So we will go ahead and prepare those. We're just going to call one team China. And we're going to put the Chinese flag because they are the Chinese, both of them are Chinese players. On the other side, though, we'll go ahead and have ACCM represent Vietnam, or should we go ahead and have Christmas Island represented here? Let's represent Christmas Island. That's where Alice resides. Every time I see Alice in the game lobby and I see where Alice is from, I always thought it was such an interesting place. I never went to go actually look where it's from, but it seems far. Maybe it would be a beautiful place to live. But Christmas Island is where Alice is going to be from. And we got that flag up now as well. Let's go ahead and put the image up. And let's go ahead and update the score as well. And looks like China, no points. And for Christmas Island, we have 2 points. 1 point. Let's go ahead and change the name here. And we'll just make it ACCM. And let's see if we can do the and symbol. And Alice. This might be too big and I can't type right now. No, I'm just kidding, I can. Boom. Yep, that does fit appropriately. So that looks just fine. We could put Breve and Stone here, actually. We might as well do that. We might as well do that. Make it look a little bit better and give the players the respect that they deserve. Give the players their proper name here and put that up on the scoreboard for them.
I'll take it.
Alrighty, guys, we're back into the next game of the series. I do have to turn these on in this scene as well. No problem. We'll do that very fast, very quick. Oh, I have a scoreboard title. That's why you were probably asking me earlier, Mike, about the best of 5, because there's a best of 5 thing that I had on the overlay that wasn't completely correct. But anywho, either way, I still think that despite the fact that I thought red and green were underdogs, they actually still kind of impressed me in the last game. They really held out until the very end. I would like to see them play a bit more aggressive this game. I'm not sure if we're going to end up seeing it, but hopefully yes. We do see it. Mike LML with the thumbs up. Yes, thank you, sir. But now we're hoping to see hopefully a little bit more aggression here, maybe by the red and green player. Maybe they can do the damage. I'm not quite sure. It looks like the green player here is going to be building a town center right by ACCM, and we're going to get something a little bit similar to what we did last game, where players are going to be playing a little bit close to their enemies this time. The blue player here over on the northwest side of the map looking just fine, and let's see, his opponent here on the south side of the map really all by himself. So it looks like, yes. For me, I would say green and red really have an advantage, because red is all by himself. He's kind of he doesn't really have any enemies near him. Look at this, he's got all these nice sheep. They really want to control water too early if they can, because look at all this nice fish. But yes. The players are just Xing right now where they're docking, and they're letting their team know where their docks are, and that will just be important for the water fights and things like that. So they're letting each other know where their docks are. That's why we see all those Xing and all that stuff going on there. But for the time being, it looks like, again, the green and purple player, both enemies, are just going to be really, really close to each other. ACCM going to type in the hotkey 16, and that's for that interesting little voice we just heard that said enemy sighted. And so he is now X'd out that he knows where the enemy is, and he's telling his teammate, hey, this is where the enemy is. And so that's going to be good for him, just to be aware of where, have some map awareness. Now, these players can't see what each other can see until they reach the feudal age. Then they can research. Then they can build a market and research a technology called cartography. Cartography allows you to see the same thing, or it reveals the same map information that your teammate has, and then vice versa. So you can see what your teammate can see what you see. And that just helps increase your vision and stuff. A lot of players, though, typically do not run to get cartography. It does cost gold, and it costs a couple other resources. So a lot of high-rated players usually like to wait a little bit before they get cartography. They'll go and try to invest in other things first, and then a little bit later they'll invest in cartography into the late mid game or early late game. They might do that. So that's typically when you'll see players going for cartography and getting that extra vision that their teammate has. In the early stages of the game, and the early, mid, and mid-late game, they'll typically just rely on their teammates for information. Their teammates will X for them. They'll type messages in the chat. I'm sure some players play on voice chat like TeamSpeak or Discord, but I would imagine that still there's a large number of players that still just use the game chat, and they still just use the flares to let each other know information, and that's still a viable way. But I can only imagine the level of gameplay from players that really practice, and squads that practice together while communicating using Discord and things like that. So yeah, for sure. Here we see the red player wasting a little bit of sheep here. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that play. I think you should at least keep one villager on the sheep instead of letting it just rot. As we can see, the food counter is counting down, so whenever a animal is killed, it slowly rots away some food, and so here we have some food that's just rotting away, a sheep that's been killed and not being taken. So I feel like this is a little bit of a waste of resources here by the red player. The red player, though, taking this fish, and remember I told you fish from the shore with a villager gathering it is one of the fastest food production, or fastest ways to get food. So let's go to red's perspective. That's going to be Breve. Let's go to his perspective, and let's just watch this villager. So here we see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so there's 10. Yeah, 10. We'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see that now. Here's a boar. Well, we can't see it with the boar. Oh yeah, we can. 1, 3, 4. So you can see that now. Okay, what I was just doing is I was hovering my I was highlighting the villager and watching their food go up. And as you watch the food go up, is what I was trying to show is that this food production here, the villager collects it faster than they were collecting it from the boar. So that these tiny little bits of details are what add up to make good players really good. So there we see just taking advantage of these shore fish, making sure to gather them and use that was a tremendous idea here by the red player, and it will just give him that ever slight advantage on getting his food a little bit faster. He is going to be bringing in his second boar here now for him. No lack of food here for the red player. He's doing just fine. 18 villagers for him. Looks like 5 fish on the water for him, and he is doing A-okay. No idle villagers for him. No military to speak of for any of the players here, and all the players with about the same fish, although the Chinese team here, though, Brev and Stone, with a few more fishing ships than the blue players, or the blue and purple player. Green deciding to dock in this middle water area. He's going to have a chunk of fish out here, and the red player is going to be docked out here on the peninsula with a chunk of fish over there. If we look over here is where ACCM is. He's playing pretty close to his base, but that's totally fine because he has these fish that are really, really close. That means he can really just, that's a lot shorter distance that his fish have to travel. He can get those fish really, really nice and close to his dock, and that's why we see him taking these fish as opposed to taking these fish, because his fishing ships only have to travel a lot shorter distance from here than they would from here. So these are the tiny little things that add up that make players good. Again, if we watch these fish pick up the the fishing ships pick up the fish. Let's go to ACCM's perspective right here and watch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's about the same speed as like gathering from a boar, I would say. And boars are also extremely fast. So the boar gathering from a sheep is slower than gathering from a boar. Also, gathering from a deer is faster than gathering from a sheep. And then gathering from a boar is faster than gathering from a deer. And then gathering from fishing ships is probably faster than gathering from a boar, would be my guess. But gathering a villager gathering from shorefish supposedly is the fastest gathering source in the game, from what I've been told. Also, berries, I don't really see any. I don't think there are any berries in Nomad, but berries, they typically start in normal games. They're one of the slowest sources of food, but they still are free source of food, so people still generally always take them. You usually only put about 4 villagers on them, but so they're still a viable source of food, but they're not the best source of food. So you take them, but you don't invest too many villagers on them. You invest your villagers and elsewhere and into a little bit faster production resources, whether that be food or wood or farms or whatnot. Farms are also pretty decently fast as well, so they're not a bad resource to gather from either. ACCM is letting the red player, or excuse me, letting the purple player know, or letting the blue player know that there's an enemy dock here, and now he's a bit worried, I would have to say. He is making the galleys right now. I wonder if the green player, Stone, is aware that ACCM, his flank, is going to be making any galleys. Right now, the green player not making any galleys, and that's because he's not up to the feudal age, so that's the reason why we're not seeing those quite yet. But what we do see is that ACCM is indeed making galleys right now, and this could be a turning point in the game, because ACCM is up to the feudal age, he's making military on water, and Red is about to lose all of his fishing ships if he doesn't respond extremely quickly when he gets up to the feudal age. He's now finally made it to the feudal age, and let's go ahead and click on his dock and see if he's also making galleys. The longer this dock takes to make a galley, the longer it will be for him to be able to defend against this aggression that we see right now. Galley coming in, and he's going to start chipping away at these fishing ships, slowly pushing one fishing ship away, and that if that fishing ship continues down that route, he would lose it. But now that's one less fishing ship that's gathering food, and so this is going to be a very aggressive play here by the purple player. And again, it shows the importance of having water control and why water is so important, because right now the green player, because he was slow to the feudal age and he wasn't able to make galleys fast, he now is starting to lose the water and lose his fishing ship and lose his source of food income. Finally, the green player is able to make one galley though, and he's going to try to start pushing this back a little bit. Second galley coming out though for purple, and remember purple had his galley first, so that means he's going to have a galley advantage. Instead of fighting this battle, he's actually going to continue to focus down those fishing ships and continue to decrease the economy of his opponent, and to continue to try to push the advantage for himself and his team. And this is really good play by him. He's going to go ahead and get that last shot there by that other galley right in the nick of time. Not even losing one galley is ACCM. Really good play by him. I expect more galleys to be coming out here by the green player. I also would like the green player to be making a couple more docks so that he can try to reinforce this a little bit faster, but it does look like both players, green and purple, are going to be on their way to the castle age, not too far behind one another, with purple being slightly faster up to the castle age. He's going to be able to get those technologies here for his ships, and we will see him continue to push this water advantage, continue to clear out these fishing ships, and take charge of the water is ACCM. The green player here now, Stone, now continuing to actually produce. He does have another dock. I did ask for it. Maybe that was already here. I'm not sure. But he is starting to produce now from this dock. He's got the galleys coming out. He does have 2 military. ACCM with 1 military. So green trying to take back control of the water And ACCM really not making much on the water, it seems like, anymore. I'm not quite sure. Let's take a look if he's continuing to push. Yes, he is continuing to push, but now he's switched into fire ships, and that's going to be a strong play by him. Fire ships are great counter there to a small number of galleys, and ACCM going to try to take advantage of that advantage that fire ships have over the galleys, over a small number of galleys. But we'll have to wait and see what ACCM's plan is really to do. It looks like right now he's kind of conceding the water to maybe take some type of boom strategy, or I'm not sure what his plan or intention is. It looks like he's actually going for some aggression on the land with a tower rush. He's going to be going with some monks here, and I do expect him to be going into some mangonels after that as well. So we're actually going to see a lot of pressure on the land here from ACCM, and he's going to be trying to push an advantage here in the middle, the early middle game, and try to start putting the pressure on his opponent here with these mangonels on the water, or excuse me, on the land, totally giving up the water. Well, not really, still making fire ships, but not really going for mass production of galleys. And to me, that's saying that he's kind of content with letting go of the water and going for some land aggression. This land aggression is going to be very strong. Monks and mangonels make a great combination with each other. As soon as you try to go and attack the mangonel, the monk converts your unit and it takes that unit for itself. So again, monks and mangonels, great combination. This mangonel has 7 range, the town center only has 6. So this mangonel going to be able to just chip away at this town center. Really not much green can do about it except for maybe repair or send out a few scouts or something like that to try to counter this. Looks like he's actually going to go for a mangonel of his own, and that's not a bad counter by him. He's going to try to snipe this mangonel here. And we will have to wait and see if green is able to do it or not. Purple pushing the pressure here on the front though. Mangonel's coming out and he's going to start doing the damage on the front. Going to be taking down this town center of the green player. Green player though, Stone, only with 1 town center, hasn't built another one. That means his villager production is going to totally halt after this, which is not what you want to have seen. Wow. Purple already researching the technology that allows him to convert siege, able to get a conversion on that mangonel, playing right into his hands is the green player here. Really nice play by ACCM. Gonna keep the pressure up, gonna kill, nope. Green player gonna kill his own forced to kill his own mangonel, unfortunately. But ACCM continuing this pressure. He has 2 mangonels on the front, 3 monks coming forward now. And the green player here, tons of villagers trying to wall up behind, but purple with so much pressure here. I don't really see how the green and red players are going to be able to come back from this. Let's take a look at the villager count. Green down to 27 villagers, red 43 villagers, purple with 30 villagers, and blue with 32. Looking here, there's 8 fish for the red player, 0 fish for purple, 9 fish for blue, and 4 fish for green. So the way that it looks here is that actually the player with the best score right now, or the best economy, is actually red. Red has 20 to 10 villagers more than everybody else in the game. He has the most fish, or 1 less than the most fish than everybody else in the game. So he's doing just fine. But the question is, what is purple going to do with it? What is he going to do with his villager advantage, with his fish advantage? Because right now his teammate is in big help, or needs a lot of help. His teammate's in big trouble. His teammate was forced to run across the map to build a brand new town center. All of his production, his villager production, has been halted, and because of that, he's wasted a lot of time here running across the map. As I said before, though, most players waiting till the mid to late game to get cartography. The green player now getting cartography wants to have a little bit more map awareness, wants to have a little bit more map knowledge and know what's going on all around the map. So he is going to be going for cartography, but he needs to watch out because purple is knocking at his door and purple wants in, and purple has the monks, has the mangonels, and green really doesn't have anything to answer against this right now. He has one monk, and he really needs to do something effective here to really defend against this attack here. From his opponent, from his flank. What I could see him doing is maybe asking his teammate for some stone, and maybe buying some stone himself and putting a castle right here. A castle on the front would really be a good counter to the mangonels and the monks, because monks and mangonels are both really susceptible to that large volley of arrow fire that the castles produce, and for that reason a nice castle on the front for stone would be really, really good. The problem for stone, though, is he really doesn't have the resources in the bank. He has a lot of wood, he has a lot of gold, so he could buy a few things, but he needs to do that now. He needs to make up his mind as to what he's going to do, because right now he's really, really in trouble. Green actually just going to decide to run away from this here. This is not ideal for him. He's wasting so much time. His villagers are all doing the great exodus like the people from the Israelites out of Egypt, trying to find the promised land. They're just running across the map here, gold and all their valuables, trying to hold on to everything they can, but this is all time that's being wasted where no villagers are being produced, where no villagers are working, and green really forced to run across the map. ACCM continuing the pressure, only with 38 villagers, though. This is still a winnable game for the red and green players. They're not out of this yet. 61 villagers now for the red player. He's being completely silent right now and just kind of booming up and probably just telling his teammate, hey, hold on, buddy, I'm coming, just give me a few more minutes, just hold him off for a few more minutes and I'll be able to help you out. These walls here really, really strong here by the green player, able to continue to just halt that aggression, kind of slow that aggression down, make it slow like molasses, and that's exactly what the green player is able to do. Purple really paying attention to this, looking maybe to see if he can come around. No, he's actually going to be converting this market, just taking every advantage and every little thing that he can from the green player. The green player actually just going to delete everything here. We just saw him delete all those buildings, and the reason he did that was he didn't want purple to get those buildings for free. So he just deleted them, and that was really good by him. It's not a bad play, and green is just going to have to try to just sit back. He's going to try to run away a little bit. He's going to try to see if he can heal up. Purple with the demo ship, thinking about trying to get a shot. He's going to blow away one of those villagers. Boom. Body parts everywhere. Maybe even did a little bit of damage to this fishing ship, and ACCM playing like an absolute savage right now, trying to just do all the damage here to his opponent, really putting the pressure on. But hey, the red player now on his way up to the Imperial Age. Again, I told you he's been quiet all game. He is playing as the Japanese. I think we could expect to see him go with Elite Samurai, a big group of Elite Samurai, and a big group of trebuchets, and I think that's what we'll see by the red player. But red player needs to hurry up and kick it up a notch, because his teammate is in a lot of trouble right now as he's been forced to run all around the map. His score shows it with only a 1900 score. ACCM knocking again, continuing with the mangonel pressure, continuing with the monks. Green continuing the story, though, of the walls behind. ACCM also playing smart by using the water advantage and making these fire ships, making the demo ships, and trying to do the damage on land, and he's really been able to do it. ACCM coming in here with a couple fire ships, going to kill the last few fishing ships that red has. Red no longer going to be able to get that free food off of the water and going to be forced to make a few more farms. It's going to be 60 food or 60 wood that he's going to have to pay to make a farm each, just to replace the food production that he just lost from these fire ships here, these cheeky fire ships by ACCM. ACCM really looking to just be an annoyance and to just annoy as much as he can, pick and prod at these villagers and try to keep them off of this wall. But it's only a matter of time before ACCM is able to push. But I have to give hats off and mad respect here to Green. It's kind of a cheesy strategy, but he's really buying a lot of time for his team. And if he can buy enough time for his team, he will be able to do the damage here. It looks like Breve just paid some stone, 2 stone, the Green player, and I thought he should have done that a bit sooner. He's doing that now a bit later. In fact, he's wasted a lot of resources on this stone here. Building, not too much has he wasted, but I think a castle could have been equally as effective here. Versus this forward aggression, these monks and these mangonels. So that's something that the Green player could have done slightly differently, maybe for next time. Meanwhile, though, back at home for Red is going to be fully saturating this gold mine really strong. Quite a few farms here in Red's base. Still going to be playing really close to his teammate Green, which is really good for him, as Green has now come into the back of this economy and in the back of Red's economy and kind of built up next to his teammate. But the problem here seems to be that ACCM still has control of the water, and he's going to be knocking on this northeast door of Green's economy, trying to break in, continuing to pressure here with these fire ships, and trying to break down the walls there. Red making some demo ships, looking to get some cheeky kills though eventually here with these demos. Probably going to be swinging around the south side here, the southeast side, and looking to clean up those fire ships of ACCM. We'll have to wait and see if that happens or not. For the time being though, ACCM's pressure has now finally breached and is finally inside the walls of Green. It's taken him at least 5 to 10 minutes just to get in, so I would have to say that the Green player Stone has really done a good job of really holding off Purple, really keeping Purple at bay, and making sure that he slowed down his forward aggression. Now let's see, again, the question must be asked: does Red have what it takes to really put on the damage right now? Does Red have what it takes to make the difference here? Breve, everything rests on him. If he does not do the damage for his team here, it looks like Alice and ACCM, the Christmas Lake or Christmas Island, excuse me, and the Vietnamese player respectively, are going to take this game. And again, they took the first game, they showed their prowess. ACCM really playing the MVP in game number 1, but here in game number 2, the pressure now rests on Breve's shoulders, and the question is, can Breve do the damage? And here we see him with a load of trebuchets, tons of knights, and I would really like to see him get out some samurai here in this late game. He is going to be getting conscription, and that's going to help him really with the production of his elite samurai, as I'm sure he's going to be going into. Japanese have a technology that allows their trebuchets to pack faster, and I think they also pack and unpack faster, and I think they also have a faster firing bonus, or maybe they're more accurate or something like that. I can't remember. But the trebuchets for the Japanese are very strong, and that's why we really see a huge investment here from the Red player into these trebuchets, and we see him making a slow push into the economy of Blue. Blue taking the damage here, going to be taking damage here on his forward town center, and that forward town center going to be going down. Now Red going to be targeting some houses, and they may seem small, but those houses can cause you to become pop limit, hit that pop limit very quick, and I think we're going to start seeing that from Alice here, as Red is starting to really put on the pressure here. Samurai Warrior now coming out for the Red player. He's got to turn it up though. He's really got to continue this pressure. We need to see these trebs packed and unpacked again as he brings them forward very quickly, because the more time he takes, the more advantage and the more technologies and the more economy Purple and Blue are going to have here. Blue coming in now with some Mangadai, and Red actually using his trebuchets to target some of the Mangadai. Going to be able to snipe one of them with his trebuchets, but using some pretty bad attack ground tactics, and he's actually going to be doing the damage to his own samurai. Only a few samurai though taking the damage, and then he's going to run back here. He's going to try to use the Mangonel. Samurai actually have a bonus. No way. Samurai actually have a bonus here versus all unique units, so they actually have a bonus here. versus the Mangadai. The green player Stone was not able to hold on. I guess the Mangonel pressure here was just way too much, and the Mangonels and Monks were too much here for the green player to take. He ended up calling it GG. The red player was starting to make a nice big push here into Blue's economy, but unfortunately it just wasn't fast enough. It wasn't enough, and Purple's early aggression that continued throughout the whole game ended up paying off and really getting the W for his team here late in this late game. Wonderful set of games here so far. Great games, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys so much here for tuning in. It's been absolutely epic. We've had some good nights, or some good streams tonight. You guys, I am going to call it now. I've really appreciated everybody coming in. I feel like the casting has really been strong. The games have been strong. The players have been playing well. I'm getting a bit tired, so I don't want to continue to stream if I'm not going to be at my absolute best. And so right now I don't feel like I'm at my best, so I'm going to call it tonight. Tomorrow is not my actual stream schedule, but I still expect to get on either in the afternoon, like 5 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, or maybe late in the evening. I do have Monday and Tuesday off this week. I just got lucky, so I have off, so that means I can actually maybe do a stream tomorrow. So I think I might do that, so stick around. For those of you who stuck around all stream, Mike LML, Juno's Human, Zen Haiku, Chronic Twitch, all of you guys, I appreciate you guys so much for sticking around and watching the stream. If there's anybody out here who hasn't quite hit that follow button yet, I hate asking, but I'm still going to. Please hit that follow button. It means a lot to me, and it just helps me grow my stream and continues to give me that motivation to continue to stream. Juno's Human, thank you so much, sir, for the great stream and the compliment. Mike LML with the hearts as usual. Heart out to you guys again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy and have a good night.